Here's my review of Badland Hunters. I think that this is a fun, kind of your average fun, post-apocalyptic kind of like survivor movie. Um, and this is a Korean language film, and it has some very crazy, over-the-top action. But I think maybe one of the main problems with it is none of the main characters were particularly super interesting, at least to me. Not that they were like bad. Like, I guess it's better to have like uninteresting characters than unlikable ones. Like, none of these characters were like unlikable, at least not our main characters that we're supposed to latch onto. But just none of them were particularly interesting. And a lot of this movie, I feel like, is there's like this disease. It's not necessarily like a zombie apocalypse movie. And I think that's one of the things the movie did pretty poorly. It was kind of bad job of explaining, I think, what even caused this apocalypse in the first place. But I think where this movie really thrives is its action. It's got a lot of cool action scenes, especially with I can't remember his name. That's one of the problems, I think, is none of the characters particularly memorable. But there's got a lot of cool action scenes, especially this one with like they're in this hallway fighting off all these, like, there's not zombies, but they're like kind of infected with something. And like I said, I didn't really understand some of it. And I think that, like I said, where this movie thrives, I think, is just its over the top, super gruesome action. But it is a lot of fun. And you see how, I guess, there's like the fall and how quickly and almost rapidly this kind of apocalypse takes over, where each kind of individual scene, I feel like, is kind of filled with a little bit of foreshadowing, kind of like, and this movie's quite quick. I believe it's only an hour and 40 minutes, but each kind of scene kind of gives you that little sense of eeriness of that something bad is going to happen, which I think this movie does a good job with suspense and action. And there's a lot of like these, there's this main like kind of psycho scientist character where he is kind of generic, but I think in a way it works for a movie like this. Or maybe I'm just stupid because it was just me. Like, I was paying attention the whole time, but maybe it's just me. Like, I just didn't really understand what his main goal was. And for me, what made me enjoy this movie was just kind of like the over the top fun action. Like I said, I don't at all regret watching this movie. I thought it was a really fun movie. I just didn't really think that there was that much on a story level to really for me to connect to. But like I said, there is a lot of really cool action in this movie. That's kind of how I just describe, kind of like just your standard fun action film, and that's fine. So in conclusion, I think that this is a standard kind of action film that you should be able to, like, you look at this poster and it's kind of poster like, hey, that looks like fun. You'll probably like it. You're like, that looks like stupid. Like, it's nothing really more than I think what it presents itself. And like I said, I think that's fine. I think it's fine to just have like a generic action film. I mean, hey, I watched The Beekeeper earlier this month, so who am I to judge? But yeah, I think that this movie is a fun movie. I don't think it's got anything that really stands out about it, but I think it's a movie where if you just want to see some over the top action with some fun enough characters, I think there is enough, a little bit of emotion, I think, with just a couple of our characters, but just not much. I think that this is a movie that you could watch and you could have a fun time with.